Hi everyone, my name is Kim and I'm a software engineer living in Japan. Recently, I started thinking about something. I spend a lot of time studying software engineering and build side projects, but I rarely talk about what I'm learning. And at the same time, I also want to improve my English speaking skills. So I thought maybe I should start recording my daily learning process and talk about what I studied in English. That's basically the idea of this vlog. I'm not trying to teach anything here. I'm still learning a lot of things myself. This is more like a video version of Tech Diary where I talk about what I worked on, what I struggled with, and what I learned that day. Usually in the morning before work, I spend about 1 or 2 hours studying backend engineering or working on my side projects. So I thought it might be interesting to record that process and talk about it. Okay, right now I'm trying to learn more about backend engineering, especially things related to microservices. To be honest, I feel like my backend knowledge is still pretty shallow. I worked as a software engineer, but there are still many things I don't deeply understand yet. Things like system design, service architecture, container orchestration, and a lot of things like that. All those topics that really production system use. So recently I started building a side project where I try to build a microservice style system. For the backend, I mainly use Go and Python, and for the frontend, I'm using Next.js. I'm not building anything super serious yet. It's more like a playground where I can experiment and run. Today, I spent some time working on Docker Compose. When you build something with microservices, you often end up having multiple services running at the same time. For example, you might have one backend service, another service for something else, maybe a database or maybe a worker processor, and etc. Running all those manually can get messy pretty quickly. So I started organizing every using Docker Compose so that I can start all of these services together. I think many engineers probably already know this but for me, actually setting it up myself helps me understand how this system works. One thing I was thinking about today was how services share data. When you use containers, each service is isolated. So if you want multiple services to access the same files, you need some kind of shared storage. For example, I was thinking about things like logs or assets. Maybe one service generates files and another service needs to read them. So I started experimenting with shared volume in Docker. Basically, I try to mount the same directory into multiple services so they can access the same files. It sounds simple when you say it like that, but when I actually try to organize the directory structure and configuring everything, I realize I still have a lot to learn. Sometimes when I study backend engineering, I feel a little overwhelmed. There are so many topics: containers, networking, databases, distributed systems, and when people talk about things like Kubernetes or large-scale systems, it can feel pretty intimidating. So my current approach is just to build small things and run step by step. Even if it's something simple like sharing a volume between two containers. At least I'm learning how this piece fits together. Another reason I wanted to start this video is because I realized something about running. When I just read documentation or watch videos, I often feel like I understand something, but when I try to explain out loud, suddenly I notice the gap my understanding. So talking about what I learned is actually a really good way to test whether I really understand it, I think. And since I also want to improve my English, I thought this format would be perfect. So from now on, I want to keep doing this, just recording my study sessions, talking about what I worked on that day, and sharing my thoughts. Someday I might learn something new. Someday I might just travel with a bag for 2 hours. And honestly, that's probably the real life of software engineering. Anyway, tomorrow I probably continue working on this microservice setup. I want to experiment more with how the services communicate and how the system is structured. There are still a lot of things I don't understand yet, but that's kind of the fun part. Anyway, that's it for the if you are also running software engineering or building side project, maybe you're going through similar things. Let's keep running step by step. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.